This is a quick video to walk you through the steps for the week 6 and 7 project in MT 1100. In the first week of the project, your task was to find data, and you were provided with a website to find the data, metacritic.com, to find data on the movies and their sequels in terms of their rating from that website. In the second week of the project, this is when you're going to do the statistics calculations. So I'm going to walk you through how to do these second week calculations using Excel. The mean, median, mode, standard deviation need to be calculated. Then you need to create a 5-number summary and use those to build 2 box plots on the same scale with labels, and then create a histogram for each distribution, and then answer the data analysis questions thoroughly. So Microsoft Excel will do all of these calculations for you, and so I'm going to walk you through it. So it looks like this. I have a very limited set of data because I'm just showing you this as a quick example. You will of course have the 15 of each type of movies. So I went to the website, I grabbed a few movies: How to Train Your Dragon, movie 1 and 2, Spider-Man, movie 1 and 2, and Silence of the Lambs, and then Mulan. So these are the critic ratings that I found for those movies. So this is my data up here in the left-hand corner. So here's how I went ahead and did these calculations. First of all, the mean. So for each of these data sets, you need to calculate the mean. You could do this by hand with a calculator, or you could do it in this way. In some box on your Excel spreadsheet, you click into it, and the mean formula is called average in Excel. And so I would type in equals to start a formula, and then type average, open a parentheses, and then I select the data I want. So I'm going to run my cursor over this column of data and close the parentheses and press enter. And that calculates the mean for that particular group of data. And then I'm going to do it again, equals average for the sequel data, selecting that column of data, and then it calculates the mean of that group. Standard deviation, the formula is STDEV, so it's very intuitive, equals STDEV. Don't choose any of the other ones, just STDEV. And then select your data again, close the parentheses, press enter. Do the same thing for the sequels, equals STDEV, and then grab your data and press enter. For the median, it's called median. And so you type in equals median and select the same group of data, and then do it again for the sequel, equals median. Select your data correctly, and it calculates the median each time. The mode equals mode, and you select it. You may find, like mine, that there is no mode. If there's no repeated values, you don't have a mode. So you could just report no mode instead of NA like I have here. Okay, so how do we build these charts that you see on the screen? So the first one that's right in the center of the screen is called a box plot, and it's 2 box plots on the same set of axes. This is what you're looking to do. So we want it to represent these ratings of movies and their sequels. You can see, if you look at my box plot here, first thing you notice, there's 2 box plots side by side. They're on the same scale. The left side of the scale tells you these numbers represent their movie ratings. So these numbers you selected from the website. And then the other numbers you see here on the boxes represent your 5-number summary. So it will do the job of getting your 5-number summary. As a reminder, what that means is it represents the lowest possible value in the data set. So here in the blue one, 23.5 is your low value, 24.65 is quartile 1, 53.3 was our median, 81.95 is our quartile 3, and then 98.4 is your highest value or maximum from the data set, so from my data set. And those same values would apply over here in the orange one, which is representing the sequels. So one thing I already observe about looking at these two is I can see there's a much wider spread group of data in the movies ratings than in their sequels. The sequels ratings were very close together. So that's just an observation. All right, so how do we go about making this chart? So what we do is we select both columns of data. So I've got them typed in side by side, movies and sequels. I'm selecting both columns of data. Then I'm going to go up here to the word insert, which is up in my top menu line. And then over here in the center of things on the menu, it's got a whole bunch of things about charts. To get to all the charts, the easiest way is really to go down into this little corner arrow that if I hover over it, you see it says See All Charts. So with the data selected, you go to See All Charts, and they recommend some, but you're going to just click All Charts, and you can go right down the list and find Box and Whisker. It's a box and whisker plot. And you'll notice here that it goes right into this format. And so it creates it. It'll call it chart title. It will not have the labels. You have to go to the plus sign and check the things that you need, like axis titles, data labels. You can add a legend, but it's not as necessary. And then to edit these, you just click them, and you can just type right in the box over the top of that. So I typed movies and their sequels. And you can do that again for axis title on the left and on the bottom, as you can see. And I will just delete this new one. Make sure when you want to do something with a part of your chart, you select the whole thing if you want to work on the whole thing. All right, so then you can see those labels that I added. So how do we go about making a histogram? You want a histogram separately for each one, so let's look at that. On the right here, I've got a movie histogram and a sequel histogram. So we're going to create a chart for each one. The difference between histogram and other bar charts is it represents frequency in a category. So these across the bottom are ranges of movie ratings, 23.5 to 48.5, and so forth. And then up the left side, this scale represents the frequency, or how many of them land in that category. So that's what we want for our two sets of data. So I'm going to select my movie data. Oh, I didn't want to click that way. All right, I've selected my movie data. Now I want to make a histogram out of my movie data. So I click Insert, and again go to See All Charts. So right in the middle of your Insert menu, there's a little diagonal arrow that says See All Charts. Go to All Charts, and it says histogram. And so once you've selected histogram, then you're going to put in the labels in the same way. And you're going to do this as well for your sequel data. All right, so then you want to be sure that you answer all the questions in your project about how to analyze, about your analysis of all of this.